Jada Pinkett Smith, What Is She? Part 1. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. The news in the internet has blown up recently as a consequence of Will Smith getting slappy with it in respect of Chris Rock at the recent Oscars ceremony, with lots of discussion thereafter as to what motivated him to behave that way, his wife's involvement in the activity, the state of the relationship between Will Smith and his wife, Chris Rock's own behaviour, the way that he responded to the assault upon him, whether Will Smith should be punished, whether he should have his Oscar taken away from him. Is this an exhibition of toxic masculinity? What does this demonstrate in terms of role models? Should excuses be made for Smith with regard to his behaviour? And so on and so forth, with the usual variety of opinions, some well-formed, many not, cascading through the internet. I have explained in my excellent video, Why Did He Hit Him?, precisely what caused the activity to occur. And if you haven't listened to that, I'd encourage you to do so. I've also explained, in part, that the footage that was recorded shortly thereafter the incident in the commercial break demonstrated a particular part of the personality of Jada Pinkett Smith. But now we're going to do a deep dive into what she is. As always with these analyses, it's important for you to understand that a considerable amount of work goes into them in terms of the research. I take the material from a broad range of source materials, some light-hearted, some heavyweight, some of greater credibility than others. I utilise videos, interviews, broadcast news, articles about her and her husband, information that has been created as a consequence of her own conduct, information that appears on YouTube, for instance, in certain interview videos and so forth. A wide range of material is accessed to look at all aspects of her personality and then identify the most meaningful aspects for the purposes of helping you understand what she is. In order to ensure that you don't waste your time in the comments, I will, of course, be dealing with Will Smith in due course, so you can forget about engaging in any whataboutisms. They are unnecessary. Also, again, purely for the purpose of ensuring that the hard of understanding don't get the wrong end of the stick, this isn't saying whether Jada Pinkett Smith is a good or bad person. You can make your mind up as to that. It's to assess what she is in an objective, dispassionate fashion based upon the evidence. If you like her, good for you. If you dislike her, then you're entitled to form that view. But the purpose of these types of videos is to help you understand what is behind her behaviours, to identify those behaviours and explain what is driving them within the field of narcissism. Is it that she is one, or perhaps is she not one? And if she is, how do we know? I'm now going to take you through the material, providing you with my observations and insight alongside it. So, strap yourselves in and get ready as we analyse Jada Pinkett Smith. What is she? Jada Corinne Pinkett Smith was born on September the 18th, 1971, and she's an American actress and singer. It's noteworthy that for an individual to be an actress and singer, they tend to have stronger narcissistic traits. Doesn't mean they're a narcissist, but the ability to get up on a stage and perform means that traits such as pride, vanity, and showmanship tend to be stronger. She is best known for her roles in A Different World, The Nutty Professor, The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolutions, and The Matrix Resurrections. Gotham, Girls Trip. In 2018, Pinkett Smith began co-hosting the Facebook Watch talk show, Red Table Talk, for which she has received a Daytime Emmy Award from 7 nominations. Time magazine named her one of the 100 most influential people in the world in 2021. Her other notable roles include a guest appearance on the short-lived sitcom True Colours, Menace to Society, Set It Off, Scream 2, Ali, Collateral, the Madagascar films, Hawthorne, Magic Mike XXL, Bad Moms, and Angel Has Fallen. She has a reasonably prolific television and film career of her own right. Pinkett Smith launched her music career in 2002, which she helped create the heavy metal band Wicked Wisdom, for which she was a singer and songwriter. Along with her husband Will Smith, she has a production company and has producing credits in films, documentaries, and television series. She also wrote a children's book, Girls Hold Up This World, which was published in 2004 and landed at number 2 on the New York Times bestseller list. Accordingly, we have an individual which appears to have a range of talents in terms of acting, performing, singing, and writing. Since 1997, Pinkett Smith has been married to Will Smith, with whom she has 2 children, son Jaden and daughter Willow. Through their marriage, she is also stepmother to Smith's son from his earlier marriage, Trey Smith. Born in Baltimore, Maryland, Jada Pinkett Smith was named after her mother's favourite soap opera actress, Jada Rowland. Pinkett Smith is of Jamaican and Bajan descent on her mother's side and African-American descent on her father's side. Her parents are Adrienne Banfield Jones, the head nurse of a Baltimore inner-city clinic, and Robsall Pinkett Jr., who ran a construction company. Banfield Jones, who during the 2010s became Adrienne Banfield Norris, became pregnant in high school. The couple married, but divorced after several months. Banfield Jones raised Pinkett with the help of her own mother, Marion Martin Banfield, a Jamaican-born social worker. Banfield noticed her grandmother's passion for the performing arts and enrolled her in piano, tap dance, and ballet lessons. There are some suggestions there of a lack of control environment as a consequence of the split of her parents at an early stage in her life, and a pregnancy which took place at a very early age for her mother. Of course, such actions themselves don't mean that somebody becomes a narcissist, but they are criteria present in lack of control environments. It's also noteworthy that the involvement of her grandmother, who noticed her abilities with regard to the performing arts and her passion for them, might well be seen as an intervener also, whereby her good offices, in effect, dampen down and reduce the impact of a lack of control environment. If you'd like to understand more, please listen to my excellent video, What Makes a Narcissist? Pinkett Smith has explained that she has been tough on her children when it came to drugs, as she herself grew up with a mother who battled heroin addiction for 20 years. That suggests a lack of control environment with a mother who's a heroin addict. She said that her family's history of addiction meant that her own sobriety felt like a miracle. Pinkett Smith has remained close to her mother and said, "A mother and daughter's relationship is usually the most honest, and we are so close." She also added, "My mother understood what I wanted and never stood in my way." That might sound somewhat precocious and might be a suggestion of someone who has a sense of entitlement and needs to assert control by ensuring that her own parent doesn't stand in her way. She participated as a maid of honour in Banfield Norris's 1998 wedding to Paul Jones, a telecommunications executive. Pinkett Smith has shown great admiration for her grandmother, saying, "My grandmother was a doer who wanted to create a better community and add beauty to the world." Pinkett Smith attended the Baltimore School for the Arts, where she met and became close friends with her classmate, rapper Tupac Shakur. When she met Shakur, she was a drug dealer. Criminality, lack of accountability. Her mother had been a heroin addict. She majored in dance and theatre and graduated in 1989. After graduation, she spent a year at the North Carolina School of the Arts. Accordingly, we have evidence of her being involved in dance, of acting, that she was involved in ballet, and an interest in the arts generally. Pinkett began her acting career in 1990 when she starred in an episode of True Colours. She received guest roles in television shows such as Doogie Howser, MD, and 21 Jump Street, and earned a role on comedian Bill Cosby's NBC television sitcom A Different World in 1991 as college freshman Lena James. In 1994, Pinkett Smith acted with Keenan Ivory Wayans in the action and comedy film A Low Down Dirty Shame. She described her character Peaches as raw, with major attitude, and her acting garnered positive reviews. The New York Times wrote Ms. Pinkett, whose performance is as sassy and sizzling as a salt and pepper recording, walks away with the movie. In 1994, she also starred as a title character in Doug McHenry's romantic drama Jason's Lyric, opposite Alan Payne. In 1995, played a convict on work release in the horror film Demon Knight. In his review of the former film, Roger Ebert praised the chemistry between Payne and Pinkett Smith, writing, "He has powerful chemistry with the enigmatic, teasing, tender character played by Pinkett. They really seem to like one another, which is not a feeling you always pick up in screen romances." Might that be a suggestion of a blurring of the boundaries between acting and what was really going on? It's a possibility. Pinkett Smith starred with actor and comedian Eddie Murphy in the 1996 remake of The Nutty Professor, portraying the love interest of a kind-hearted university professor who is morbidly obese. The film was a commercial success, earning $25 million in its first weekend in North America, and eventually $274 million worldwide. She also had a lead role in Set It Off, a crime drama about 4 women who rob banks to escape from poverty, opposite Queen Latifah, Vivica A. Fox, and Kimberly Elise. Her acting in the film was noted in the San Francisco Chronicle, which wrote that she was the one to watch. Budgeted at $9 million, Set It Off made $41 million globally. Again, it would appear that there is some genuine talent with regard to her acting, given the reviews that have been garnered. In 1997, Pinkett Smith had a cameo role in Scream 2 as a college student who was brutally murdered in front of hundreds of filmgoers. The film made more than $100 million at the North American box office. In 1998, she played a news reporter in the thriller Return to Paradise with Vince Vaughn and took on the title role of an extroverted woman alongside Tommy Davidson in the comedy Woo. While favourably reviewing her performance in Woo, Derek Armstrong of AllMovie wrote that the script was formulaic and not much of a vehicle for its impish starlet. She next appeared in Spike Lee's film Bamboozled as a personal assistant to the main character, played by Damon Wayans. Although the film met with mediocre reviews, it won the National Board of Review's Freedom of Expression Award. In 2001, Pinkett Smith portrayed a loudmouth wife in the moderately successful comedy Kingdom Come, with LL Cool J, Vivica A. Fox, Anthony Anderson, Tony Braxton, and Whoopi Goldberg. In the biographical sports drama Ali, she played Sonya Roy, the first wife of boxer Muhammad Ali, opposite Will Smith. While she loved the final product, she initially did not think she was the right person for the role. I felt like because we were a couple off screen, for people to see us together on the screen in a movie like this would take people out of the movie. That people would see Will and Jada there, rather than seeing Ali and Sonya. Perhaps her best-known role to date is in the part of human rebel, Niobe, in the films The Matrix Reloaded, The Matrix Revolutions, and the related video game Enter the Matrix. The character was written specifically with Pinkett Smith in mind. Directly after she filmed her scenes for Ali, Pinkett Smith flew to Australia to work on the Matrix sequels. The sequels earned over $91 million and $48 million during the North American open weekends, respectively. In the neo-noir thriller Collateral, excellent film, alongside Jamie Foxx and Tom Cruise, Pinkett Smith played a U.S. Justice Department prosecutor and the target of a contract killer. She voiced Gloria, a strong, confident but sweet hippopotamus in the computer-animated film Madagascar. Tom McGraw, one of the film's directors, said they found all these traits in her voice when they listened to her. In 2007, she played the wife of an affluent dentist in the drama Reign Over Me with Adam Sandler, Don Cheadle, Liv Tyler, and Donald Sutherland. In 2008, she took on the role of a lesbian author in the all-female comedy The Women, opposite Meg Ryan, Annette Bening, Deborah Messing, and Eva Mendes. Their commercial success, The Women, was panned by critics, with Pinkett Smith earning a nomination for the Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Actress for her performance. Her directorial debut was the drama The Human Contract. She also wrote and starred as the sister of a successful but unhappy businessman with Paz Vega and Idris Elba. It debuted at the Cannes Film Festival in May 2008. The success of Madagascar led Pinkett Smith to return to the role of Gloria in the 2008 sequel Madagascar Escape to Africa, which earned $603 million at the international box office. Pinkett Smith was an executive producer and starred as chief nursing officer in the TNT medical drama Hawthorne, which premiered on June 16, 2009. She reprised the voice role of Gloria in Madagascar 3, Europe's Most Wanted. She also voiced the character in the NBC Christmas sequel Merry Madagascar and the direct-to-DVD film Madly Madagascar. Again, we can see that she's a lady of considerable industry, being involved in at least one film every year, involved in producing and directing, and therefore is not someone that would be described as lazy. She's industrious and applies herself. Following on from this, beginning in 2014, Pinkett Smith starred in the first season of the Fox crime drama Gotham as Gotham City gangster Fish Mooney. She returned recurrently in the second and third series. In 2015, she starred in the comedy Magic Mike XXL as the manager of a Star Stripper club opposite Channing Tatum and Joe Manganiello. She starred with Mila Kunis, Kristen Bell and Christina Applegate in the comedy Bad Moms as the sidekick of a domineering Parent-Teacher Association head. It received mixed reviews from critics, who praised the cast and humour. She next took on the role of a nurse and uptight mom in the comedy Girls Trip. And in May 2018, Pinkett Smith has hosted the Facebook Watch talk show Red Table Talk, which features her mum and her daughter and focuses on a wide range of topics, with these being watched from 3 different perspectives. In a positive review, US Today's Maeve McDermott praised the series for its insightful guests, no-holds-barred topics, and Smith's magnetic hosting presence. She evidently exhibits a degree of charisma. What we have with that programme, and we will be returning to it further on in this analysis, is that there is an absence of boundary recognition. There's an oversharing of personal information. That there is an absence of privacy. That it exhibits a sense of entitlement to talk about what she wants to talk about in situations that would cause discomfort for other people, and indeed discomfort for people who she is closely related to. Her mother, her child, and, in later episodes, her spouse. But it would appear that her desire to speak so freely is done without any emotional empathy for how they feel about what she's saying. She, of course, sees it as complete honesty, a directness, and you have to deal with it, I am entitled to express my views. That exhibits a degree of haughtiness, a sense of entitlement, a lack of accountability for the behaviour. The topics that are touched upon also are ones of a sensitive nature, and many would think these are private matters which should just be dealt with privately, rather than feeling the need to air them in such a public space. Again, such a stance would not find any favour with Pinkett Smith, who would regard it as her right to be able to talk about these matters. And in her world, she sees it as important to air such dirty laundry, if it can be described as such, in order to ensure that these are topics which are addressed. In 1997, Pinkett Smith was the MC of the Million Woman March in Philadelphia. Together with Will Smith, Pinkett Smith has created the Will and Jada Smith Family Foundation in Baltimore, Maryland, a charity which focuses on youth in urban inner cities and family support. Her aunt, Karen Banfield Evans, is the foundation's executive director. The charity was awarded the David Angel Humanitarian Award by the American Screenwriters Association in 2006. The Will and Jada Smith Family Foundation has provided grants to non-profit organisations such as Youth Build, and Pinkett Smith has made personal donations to organisations such as Capital K9s. This may well suggest emotional empathy as a consequence of such philanthropy, or, alternatively, it may just be the manifestation of cognitive empathy, or quite simply the assertion of control by utilising wealth in order to create a facade of helpfulness and assert control using such money. In 2006, Pinkett Smith donated $1 million to her high school alma mater, the Baltimore School for the Arts, and dedicated the new theatre to her classmate and close friend, Tupac Shakur. When Pinkett Smith's aunt, Karen Banfield Evans, was diagnosed with lupus, the Will and Jada Smith Family Foundation, in association with the Lupus Foundation of America and Maybelline, held the first annual Butterflies Over Hollywood event on September 29, 2007 at the El Rey Theatre in Los Angeles. The event raised funds for LFA public and professional educational programs. The Will and Jada Smith Family Foundation was presented with an award in 2007 at the 4th Annual Lupus Foundation of America Awards. In 2012, on behalf of PETA, Pinkett Smith wrote a letter to Baltimore's mayor asking that the visiting Ringling Brothers Circus comply with Baltimore's absolute prohibition on the use of devices such as bull hucks and not harm the elephants. Again, this caring for animals may well be demonstrative of emotional empathy, or alternatively, it is the demonstration of cognitive empathy. In 2013, she appeared in a video clip for Gucci's Chime for Change campaign that aims to raise funds and awareness of women's issues globally. Pinkett Smith had a close friendship with rapper Tupac Shakur that formed while they attended the Baltimore School for the Arts. She later appeared in his music videos Keep Your Head Up and Temptations. In 1995, she contributed $100,000 towards Shakur's bail as he awaited an appeal on his sexual abuse conviction. That might again be demonstrative of emotional empathy, or alternatively, an assertion of control through triangulation and bribery. Pinkett Smith starred in the 2003 documentary Tupac, Resurrection. That he was one of my best friends. He was like a brother. It was beyond friendship for us. Speaking in such terms is somewhat over the top, demonstrative of flattery and possible magical thinking. The type of relationship we had, you only get that once in a lifetime. Grandiosity. After meeting Tom Cruise during the filming of Collateral in 2004, Pinkett Smith and Smith donated US $20,000 to the Hollywood education literacy program HELP, Scientology's basis for homeschooling. In 2018, Pinkett Smith revealed that she'd been diagnosed with alopecia. She shared a video on her Instagram account in 2021 showing herself with a shaved head, saying, "Now at this point, I can only laugh." The issue of the alopecia and how that impacts upon this analysis is something that we're going to address later on. So in terms of a resume of her career and her early start, there is the potential for there to be a lack of control environment as a consequence of her mother's heroin addiction and the fact that there was no paternal role model in her life at that juncture. Of course, that doesn't mean that somebody will become a narcissist. There are plenty of people that are raised in single-parent families, either male or more usually female, where they don't end up a narcissist. But it is a contributing factor, and one that should be noted. We see that she's industrious, that she's always worked and sought to be independent in that regard, to stand on her own 2 feet financially and with regard to what she creates. She evidently has talent. She's been praised for her performances, and she's something of a polymath in terms of entertainment with regard to writing, singing, dancing, and acting. Directing also included. So she has a variety of talents in that respect. So there is some substance behind the behaviours. There's active involvement in philanthropy, which may well suggest genuine emotional empathy, caring for others, and demonstrating empathic traits such as compassion, decency, and a strong moral compass. Or, alternatively, many narcissists are known to engage in philanthropy, and it's merely an assertion of control through facade management, triangulation, the use of funds, and done in order to secure those prime aims. Having set the scene with regard to the world that she came from and what she's achieved, both in terms of philanthropy and commercial and critical success, we then look at the nature of her relationship with Will Smith in part 2. Don't forget to like this video, get it shared, and join me in part 2 for further analysis.